So now, what regarding like why I chose Joe Biden over Trump. So Joe Biden is slightly better than Trump overall with issues like the courts, the Supreme Courts. He's definitely going to elect people who will protect LGBTQ rights, um, protect abortion rights, right, and workers' rights, protect Obamacare, things that are just crucial and really important to uh, our country and our rights, and very important that to me that we keep those in place. So Joe Biden's automatically better on that. And healthcare, which is one of my top issues, Joe Biden's better. He's definitely not where I want him to be because he really just wants to expand Obamacare instead of having Medicare for all. And Obamacare left 20 million people uninsured, right? And there was huge problems with Obamacare. Premiums went up, um, and it's overall just more expensive than even Medicare for all would be right now. So it's just really, I'm wondering how we're gonna keep paying for this system. Everyone's asking how we gonna pay for Medicare for all. I'm wondering how we gonna pay for this, right? So hopefully, I mean, but it's better than repealing Obamacare and leaving people out to die, right? So just having millions and millions more people um, not have access to healthcare. So Biden's better on that. Not to mention, there was a task force with Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio Cortez where he met up with them and discussed progressive ideas that he would be willing to accommodate to. So they agreed on a few. Let's talk about what they agreed on first, and then we'll talk about what I'm pissed off about. So what they agreed on was a few climate change deals. Nothing specific, of course, because they don't want to give too much. Biden don't want to give too much. We're just very non-specific, very general here. Um, so some small climate deals. And he also this one I'm actually really happy about. He also it's not an official agreement, but he said that he would be willing to have I forgot what it's called, but it's a agreement where basically the federal government promises to only buy from American companies. So that would be a huge boost to the economy, because right now we're buying from all over the world, and something that even Trump hasn't been able to come out and say and act on, even though it's been talked about for a long time now. Um, and yeah, so basically, Biden outflanked Trump on the economy, um, and that is really gonna help. What they didn't agree on now. So there was no Green New Deal, no Medicare for all, which were things that we could have guessed going into it. Like that's just not what Biden is for. But the most aggravating thing to me is that he couldn't even agree on legalizing marijuana, something that is so easy, so simple, and would help so many people, right? So they still couldn't get him to agree on legalizing marijuana, which is really just an executive order that he just signed, taking marijuana off as a scheduled drug. So that pissed me off, but you know what? It is what it is, right? So yeah, Joe Biden is slightly better overall. Still doesn't line up with where I want to be. With a lot of my views, none of my top five views are something that he is pushing for. So that was a huge problem and why it took me so long to come to this decision. Um, and also another reason is with this George Floyd thing. So Trump had a real opportunity to get blacks on his side, and even me, I was willing to vote for him as at the beginning of this George Floyd thing. He really faked us out with this FBI investigations, and then really just did a complete 180 once he saw the reaction from his base, I guess. Um, and that was something that he really could have just gotten a lot of support over. Really, and it was simple too. Either you can legalize marijuana, boom, right there, you got the black vote, boom, promise you, easy, done. Legalize marijuana and let out all non-violent drug offenders, Boom, you're done. You're done. That's the election in the bag, right? Or he could have just simply said, he didn't even have to be really specific or anything. He could have just said, I'm pushing police reform through Congress. I'm trying to push police reform through Congress. Any type of police reform. If he had just done that, he would have secured a lot of black votes. A lot of black votes. And he flopped on that, right? So, I mean, I guess I understand his mindset because the number one rule in like campaigning is secure the base. But the base is over secure. You understand? Like they're over appeased, right? You need to expand on the base because the base is not gonna win you the election. They're just not. There's not enough people in the base to win you the election. So that was just a stupid thing for him, and it's really showing how it's affected him because if you look at the polls nationally, he's down 10 points, but that doesn't mean anything because he was down 10 points against Hillary. Here is where it's important, right? When you look at key battleground states, states like Florida, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Trump is still down in those states in large numbers, 7, 8 points, right? And that was where, in this point in the election, he was within 5 with Hillary in 2016. And that was partly because of his strategy. He knew where to hit her. Not only did he know to get her with things that stuck, but also things that were mostly true. Things like NAFTA, the TPP, the Iraq War, right? And his current plan for the election, or at least what we're seeing right now, is a load of crap and it's not going to win him anything. So Trump's plan to win the election now is a load of crap. Basically what he's trying to do is take the culture route. He's playing this game with the statues, protecting the statues, putting a hard focus on the statues, protecting the essence of the flag. He mentioned in one of his speeches making burning the flag illegal and sending people to jail for 1 year for burning the flag, which I was very pissed off about because that is a violation of the First Amendment right, freedom of speech. So I was very pissed off about that. That turned me off as well. And that's really the route he's taking, which is crap because the last time that social issues won an election was probably like 1964. Okay, in modern history, we have seen that social issues simply don't win elections. It's not at the heart of the people. When it comes down to it, it's the economy, stupid. Bill Clinton's campaign manager said it himself. It's the economy, stupid. Especially in a pandemic situation where people are not only losing their jobs with 20% real unemployment when you look at U6 rating, which I showed in my last video. Go check it out if you haven't. With 20% real unemployment, people also losing health care among a huge pandemic where people are getting infected like crazy, especially in a state where I am, like Florida, because a lot of healthcare is tied to employers, right? They get their benefits from employers. When people lose their jobs, they're also losing their healthcare. So that means millions of more people are now without healthcare. And there are also millions of more people getting the virus. Hundreds of thousands of more people getting the virus. 10,000 people, more than that, a day getting infected. And they don't have healthcare. So if you're not talking about that, then you're not going to win the election, period. I'm sorry to say. That is the issue that is on everyone's heads at the end of the day. Yeah, they'll pretend, they'll post their black pictures on Instagram and stuff. They'll chip in on little Instagram debates and Facebook debates on that kind of social issue stuff. But at the end of the day, they're going to vote for whoever is going to provide them and provide for them and put food on their tables, right? Make sure that they're not worried about going bankrupt from medical bills for getting a huge virus that their governor had basically no plan to protect them from. And that has to be the focus. Otherwise, you're not going to win the election, period. So that's Trump's plans right now. And that's really how Republicans have managed to even stay in power, is the economy. So he's really going backwards on the essence of his own party. The reason that Republicans stay in power despite being so far back on the social curve with things like abortion, um, police reform, legalizing marijuana, gay and transgender rights. There's just so much that they're behind on in the social curve, yet they're in power in the Senate right now. They have the majority. Why is that? It's the economy. So if you're not focused on that, you're not going to win the election. I'm sorry. I know it seems like a big deal now, but in November, that's not what people are going to be thinking about when they're putting that check mark next to someone's name. It's not. So it's not 2016 Trump, and we've seen that. It's reflecting in the poll numbers. And right now, what we need is unity. Uh, divisiveness isn't gonna cut it this time. It worked in 2016, but it's not gonna work now. So I just have to go for Biden for that reason. At least for now, uh, that's just my decision. If Trump did something like monumental, absolutely life changing, maybe I would consider it. But for now, it's not even a thought. It's just not even a thought. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all for this video, guys. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure to share this video as well. Let's get more people on the young active train. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.